In this video, I'll show you how to configure an automation with n8n and Home Assistant. We will turn a simple camera into a smart financial assistant that can automatically read a water meter, calculate the fee, and send the bill. First things first, the hardware installation. For this project, you can install an ESP-CAM above your water meter, just like you see in the diagram. If you need help with the ESP-CAM configuration itself, you can refer to the recommended video linked above. With the hardware ready, let's jump into our n8n workflow, starting with the very first node, the schedule trigger. In this project, our goal is to completely automate the monthly task of reading the water meter and generating a bill. For its configuration, we set the trigger interval to months and the trigger at hour to 6 p.m. This precisely defines our start time, at 6 p.m. on the first day of every month. At 6 p.m., our trigger fires, and the signal immediately flows to our first action node, Get a Screenshot, which I've renamed Water Meter Snapshot. We're using the camera proxy resource, which is a special function that allows us to directly pull the latest image from a camera stream. All we need to do is select the camera entity ID for the camera pointed at our water meter. This node grabs a fresh snapshot and passes that image data down the line for our AI to analyze. That image data now flows directly into our first AI brain, the AI agent node, which I've renamed AI Meter Reader. Its one and only job is to analyze the image of the water meter and accurately extract the numerical reading. The core at its configuration is the prompt, where we instruct our Google Gemini model to act as a high-precision OCR tool. We give it a very specific set of rules. Its only task is to analyze the image, ignore decimals or logos, and extract only the main integer reading. We even provide an example to ensure it understands perfectly. Finally, we command it to output nothing but that single clean number. So our AI has just successfully read this month's meter value, but to calculate the bill, we need a place to store this reading and compare it with last month's. For that, we're going to use n8n's built-in database feature called Data Table. First, you'll want to head over to the Data Table section in n8n. Create a new table and name it Water Meter Reading. Inside, set up 6 columns to store all our billing information: reading date, meter value, unit price, billing period, consumption, and fee. You can even input some example data for previous months to get started. Once that's created, we can go back to our workflow. With our database ready, the flow continues to a data table node I've renamed Get All Readings. This node's job is to connect to the database we just created and retrieve records. Its configuration is simple. The operation is get, the data table ID points to our water meter reading table, and crucially, we enable the Return All option. This dives into our database and pulls out every single meter reading we've ever recorded, passing the entire history down the line. That gives us a big pile of data, but we only care about one of those records, the most recent one from last month. This is where the code node, which I've renamed Find Last Month Data, comes in. The simple JavaScript code inside grabs all the incoming records, sorts them by their creation date in descending order, and then returns only the first item from that list, the newest item from last month. It intelligently isolates the exact data point we need. At this point, we have last month's reading. Now, before we do the calculation, we need to do some housekeeping. This brings us to another data table node, Save This Month's Reading. Its purpose is to add a new record for the current month to our database. Under Operation, select Insert Row and choose our Water Meter Reading table. Then, in the Columns section, we map 2 entries: reading date gets today's date, and meter value gets the numerical output from our AI meter reader. This creates a new time-stamped entry for this month's reading. The moment we've been waiting for. We have last month's reading, and we've just saved this month's. All the data is now perfectly in place for our final node, the second AI agent, AI Bill Calculator. This is our automated accountant. Its job is to take all the raw data and generate a complete structured bill. The magic happens in the prompt, where we instruct our Google Gemini model to act as a precise financial calculator. We feed it all the necessary data, like the last reading, current reading, and dates, and provide it with the exact formulas. Critically, we then attach a structured output parser, giving it a JSON example of our desired bill format. This forces Gemini's response into a perfectly structured, machine-readable invoice. Our AI has just generated the final bill. Now, the workflow splits to perform its last two tasks simultaneously. First is the data table node I've renamed Update This Month's Fee. Its goal is to update the existing record for this month. The operation is update, and the crucial part is the filters. We add a condition that matches the row ID with the ID of the row we created just a moment ago. This ensures we're only editing this month's entry. Finally, in the columns section, we map the new consumption, fee, unit price, and billing period values from our AI bill calculator. This enriches our historical data, making every record a complete financial statement. While the database is updating, the workflow is also performing its final task, sending the bill. This is handled by our last node, a call-a-service node I've renamed Send Bill. Its purpose is to create a notification in Home Assistant. We choose the persistent notification domain and the create service. Most importantly, in the message attribute, we craft a formatted string that lays out the entire bill, pulling in all the data we've gathered and calculated along the way. This node generates a perfectly formatted bill and pushes it as a notification right to our Home Assistant dashboard, delivering the result of a process that has been completely hands-free. And this is just the beginning. The real power here is that you can easily add more nodes to send this same bill via Telegram, email, or even SMS, notifying both yourself and your tenants automatically. So there you have it. Every month, our automation uses an AI camera to read the meter, calculate the bill, send the notification, and log the data, all completely hands-free. By the way, I've bundled everything from this build into a guide for you. You can find that link waiting in the description. I'm always looking for new ideas, so share what you'd like to build together in the comments. Every like and subscribe truly helps the channel expand. Thanks for watching.